And guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I am back here for some more baseball news. As you know, in the midst of all the trade deadline craziness, well, actually, right at the end of it, and of course, as we enter into, of course, you know, the month where you can still be traded through waivers, whatever the heck it's called. For me, a baseball fan since 2004, for almost 20 years, I don't quite understand that whole, you know, the business side of baseball. I still don't quite get. All I know is that, again, like, the Bob Nutting is a cheapskate, whatnot. But anyways, it's not about that. In the midst of all of this, at the end of this, baseball did witness some sad news Tuesday night, as on August 2nd at 10:24 p.m. it was released on, of course, my my usual page where I get my baseball news most of the time, that the longtime legendary voice of the Los Angeles Dodgers, Vin Scully, sadly passed away at the age of 94 on Tuesday night. He was the voice of the Dodgers and so much more. He was their conscious, their poetic laureate, captured their beautiful chronicle, their glory from Jackie Robinson to Sandy Koufax to Kirk Gibson to Clayton Kershaw. He was around for it all. And again, he's called you know, baseball for many decades. With the Dodgers for 67 years, he was with the Dodgers. He's a Hall of Fame broadcaster. He's also covered stuff with the NFL, pro golf, tennis, and of course postseasons and all-star games for baseball games on many different outlets such as CBS, NBC, ABC, and TBS, outside of, you know, the norm for him as well. What made Scully definitely unique, he was a master storyteller, finding endless inventive and poetic ways to call the action. Like, even when I would always hear you know, Vin Scully talk, you know, a lot of announcers, you feel like, are just like, oh my god, like high energetic. Although, you know, high and not the most like highly energetic person, I always liked how Vin Scully was like a soft spoken person, but he was a way that, like it says here, he told you a story. Like, you know, he was able to, like, you know, make, you know, announce, you know, call again a moment, like, you know, I don't believe what I just saw, which of course, you know, goes back to the Kirk Gibson one-legged home run that he had hit against, I think it was the Athletics, I think it was, in the 1989 World Series, or somewhere around there. It was like that's definitely one of my favorite calls. One that I, of course, always remembered. I had to go back and watch a lot. Is back in 2006 when the Dodgers had that game where they hit 4 home runs in a row. I think it was Jeff Kent, J.D. Drew, Russell Martin, and Marlon Anderson hit 4 solo home runs to lead off the 9th inning for the Dodgers to tie a game with the Padres. Went into extra. I think they gave up 1 run to the Padres. Don't remember how it was. And then Nomar Garciaparra hits that walk-off 2-run homer in the 10th to win the game 11-10. Definitely one of my personal, one that I, you know, definitely got to witness. You know, I think I was in 7th grade. I think it was when that happened. But definitely one of my favorite Vin Scully calls. But I just always liked how Vin Scully was like, not like a high energy guy, more of like a soft spoken guy. Like someone who I want to, you know, say is another soft spoken guy, Steve Blass. Like, all respect to Steve Blass, as far as like being like, you know, like the head guy for a commentator. I feel like he was more so, I mean, again, I'm not quite sure what they call them, you know, for commentators, but I feel like he was not meant to be the guy to call like the main act. He was the guy to, like, you know, make like a secondary, like a color commentator follow up rather than, you know, like the main commentator. I mean, he had some loud moments. I feel like Steve Blass was not meant to be like the head commentator. Vin Scully, again, soft spoken guy, but it was just something unique about him being soft-spoken that still made him interesting and amazing for his, 67 years with the Dodgers, of course, as well. Again, a master storyteller, as I said. He was on for many moments of the greatest moments in baseball as well. Yeah, he began calling Dodgers games in Brooklyn in the 1950s on both TV and in the radio, and he was then in that booth From then on, until his retirement in 2016. As noted in the press release, it was Vin as much as anyone who bonded the franchise with its new city when it transferred from Brooklyn to Los Angeles, of course. Fans not only around the world, but at the games themselves in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum would listen on their transistor radios to Vin and colleague Jerry Doggett. Like I said, he was definitely a very, unique guy for sure. Like I said, it always stands out to me at the end, like how you think of like broadcasters again. You think of like someone who's like high energetic, like screaming at the top of their lungs, like amazing moments. Again, Scully again, soft spoken, but one of the best soft spoken storytelling, unique voices in baseball. Again, I can name other broadcasters that I definitely enjoy. Harry Callis was somewhat like him with the Phillies. Dave Niehaus, I definitely enjoyed his commentary as well. Swung on it, bouncing a deep left field, fly away. And there's others I don't remember their names off. I don't follow too many. I mean, most of my no pros hit the Pirates, like Lenny Fratteri, Greg Brown, a few others as well, of course. But yeah, Vin Scully, definitely one of the best voices in baseball for sure. So he definitely has taken his very well-deserved spot up in heaven with God. And I definitely offer my thoughts and prayers and condolences to the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Scully family, as Vin Scully again passed away right after the trade deadline this week at the age of 94.